white people all up in arms about a dead white guy. I can no longer tolerate this. I can no longer tolerate dead for 45 years, John Wayne, saying things in a magazine that doesn't exist anymore. I am here for in 1907. That's what the fuck he's going to sound like. Then you got all these douchebags going like, that's not an excuse. It's like, yes, it is. It absolutely is. You are of your time. Look at these young kids. Remember that for like a year and a half? They'd take a water bottle. They're all standing around, and one kid would flip it, and if it landed upright, they'd move. Oh! 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 Oh, shit! They just lose their fucking minds. Oh! I didn't understand it. That's all he said, okay? Yes, it's a crazy statement in 2021. 1976, you know, it's not good, but it's not crazy. Right? And he's born in 1930. You got to put the shit in historical perspective. You ever watch? I love old movies. You ever watch movies from the 30s, 40s, and 50s? Yeah. Anytime a woman even has heightened emotion, there's some guy like, I got a hold of you. You know, what about all the horrible women in history? You can't just go after the men. That would be sexist. And this is what they don't want. You know? I mean, what about Coco Chanel? Great example. Coco Chanel, widely considered a feminist icon. She started her own purse factory, right? The 19-teens or 20s, whatever the hell she did. I can't imagine the sexism that she had to deal with, you know?
Does your wife watch any of these games with you? Does she?
No, she has the female, complex, multitasking brain. That's why they can't be happy. They just always, they're like, what is that lizard that can look at two things at once? That's what they're like. So they got the shoes they want, and then they see some other woman walking in going, oh, look at this skinny bitch over here. Women are so overrated, right? We went from... We sit there with like a pizza and a drink, like, that's not holding, and just be like, and enjoy ourselves.
I saw a woman a couple months back, professional soccer player, right? She goes on to ESPN or one of these sports channels, going like, I don't understand, how come female athletes don't make as much as male professional athletes? Right? And all of these men had to sit there and act like they didn't know what the answer was. They had to sit there like dumbfounded, like, oh.
Now talk to me about a toddler. Oh, he was so fussy today. He wouldn't eat his peas. Yeah, and just the level of reward that is, you know, as annoying as a kid is, like they smile at you and it's over. It's over. So, I mean, you don't get that, you know, working on an oil rig when your buddy's greasy face lights up. Yeah, you know what? It really is all worth it.
No, I have this.
Sleeping on a Sunday when you can go pay $18 for eggs. Nah, you're thinking. Then we can sit around and listen to your friends have moronic conversations about the eggs, like, is that pesto? Is that pesto in your omelet? Oh, it's asparagus. It's asparagus. I thought it was pesto. Oh, you just want to flip the whole fucking table over?
Because
How hijack the woke movement? Generals around the world should be analyzing this. Just to refresh your memory, the woke movement was supposed to be about people of color not getting opportunities, the at-bats that they deserved, finally making that happen. And it was about that for about 8 seconds. And then somehow, white women swung their Gucci-booted feet over the fence of oppression and stuck themselves at the front of the line. Yeah, there's nothing stopping you other than the fact that you guys are just into destroying each other. No, now it's going to get quiet. I see all that sneaky shit you do. Ladies, if you could just support the WNBA the way you support a fat shit that's proud of her body and is no longer a threat to you, you know, that league would be doing better numbers than the NBA. Right? I'm just being honest. Come on, we're outside. We're in the woods. We can be honest. Just Who gives a fuck? Can't remember a name. Looking women, right? Well, looking at these goddesses, and they had to fucking be there. How am I supposed to compete with that? You can't. How fucking arrogant are you? I don't see bread over your cabbage. Yeah. When I was a kid, you could only be crazy outside for about 15 minutes before a van would pull up and two guys in nurses' outfits would just come walking out. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Making a lot of racket out here, aren't you? Why don't you do me a favor? Try this shirt on. You're like, okay. How come the sleeves are so long? Oh, because we're going to tie your arms behind your back because you're out of your fucking mind. That's it. One on, somebody fucking limping across the street or something. And I've never been able to get close enough to talk really to anybody. You know, like they do on the news. You know, like, Jesus, you've been sitting in here, you know, for a couple of months. What is it like to be inside of this tent? I always wondered how many people they had to choke out before they could get that fucking interview. You know? Just coming in, blow darts, numbing up everybody else, building a perimeter.
Laughing already because here in the Cayman Islands interview lounge because comedian Bill Burr has stopped by this morning. Bill, thanks for coming to the Cayman Kind Studio.
Oh, thank you for having me in the Cayman Island
Yes,
Memorial Studios.
That's what it is.
something like
And
that.
we're glad to have you. You got a busy week. We're just looking at your schedule. You're going to be on Fallon and Conan, right, this
Yep.
week?
I'm Media Boy this week. I got a new animated show, or a cartoon, as I still call it, coming out on Netflix. Dad, Mike's dad, and everybody else in the writers' room. It's basically we set it back where in that time where you could, you know, kids today, you know, they wear helmets when they ride bicycles. They have play dates and all that. And back then it was they just set you outside, like get out of here.
It was
Go
great.
outside. Yeah, you could literally bring a gun to the airport back then if you had
You
your
literally
briefcase. As long as you didn't wave it around, it was fine. It was just like a different time, and I just throughout my career I've been telling like family stories on stage, and they all.
Yeah, we had a chance to watch it today. First of all, you know, it's called F is for Family, but probably not for the family. It's an adult version.
Well, it's not for
adult
kids.
show. Right? Not for kids.
Yeah, but families will totally be able to relate to this. If you want to go and
understand,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, if you had any sort of I don't know family that I grew up in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, how close is it to your family? Like, how many kids did you grow up with?
Oh no, it's we had 6 kids. So
Oh,
there's
okay.
only 3 kids. I mean, you're not gonna have 6 different kids. Elements and hints and stuff like that. And sometimes it's just a 10-speed bicycle. Other times it's like a catchphrase. Like my dad saying, "I'll put you through that bleeping wall," was something that he used to say. And
You can't say that now. Dads can't say
Yeah,
that.
you can.
You can?
Yeah, you can do all of that stuff.
Turn
Like,
me in.
There's this whole
me too.
there's this whole Chicken Little, the sky is falling, and that people believe you can't say things like that stuff you were talking about, like the polar bear with the
Yeah,
scar-
Starbucks cookie.
It's the Starbucks polar
yeah,
bear
that is
cookie.
one.
But
Yeah, about the cookies.
Yes.
but F is for Family. When is it available on Netflix?
December 18th.
Okay.
All you can binge watch all of them.
Binge watch. They're
Yeah.
all there's
So it took us over a year to draw and do all that. And you
Well,
can,
that's what
Done in
people
a
do
few
now.
hours.
you can watch it all in about
That's
2
what we're
hours,
gonna
40
do.
minutes, and be like, "Hey, when's the next 6 coming out?" But I'm really proud of it. It's not just like we can curse on the show, which we
Yeah.
obviously.
That's what I
we
meant by
do.
saying for the kids.
Yeah,
you know.
but there's still a lot of we still Netflix is they put the whole thing out at once,
Mm-hmm.
and then if people respond to it, then they just do an order of the second season. So when that's going to happen, I don't know how soon.
You need
that
views,
happens,
right? I
so-
mean,
I'm
that's
sure.
yeah, that's how it
Yes.
works,
Yeah.
right? With the
and we're also coming out the same day as Star Wars. So
Oh.
I'm hoping,
That's right. You can't get tickets to Star Wars, so
yeah,
This is for if you
maybe
have
people
Netflix.
will watch. People telling me I'm going to watch while I stand in line for Star Wars.
Yeah,
and
just
I'm going to binge
sleep
watch
out
this
overnight.
stuff.
But that's what people do now. Like, Christine is, got me into Walking Dead, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
how you guys watch it. Just
Binge watching.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So,
watched
yeah.
Bloodline, and I
Oh,
watched
yes.
Peaky Blinders. I'm watching Fargo. And,
It's
I
too
just-
easy. I mean, because
Yeah.
the next one just rolls and rolls, and you
Yeah, next thing you
can't
know,
get
it's
off
4
the
in the
couch,
morning.
right?
You're like, oh my God, I got to do radio here.
Just want to see what happens in the next episode. Okay, I'm watching another hour.
Yeah.
And then it goes and it goes. But I mean, Netflix is such a great venue. They've got, I think, the most Golden Globe nominations.
Oh,
It's
is
like,
that right?
Yeah. It's
Are they not
like the
afraid
place
to be not political? Are they not
Like the
afraid
place to
be not politically correct? Because I mean, in parts of the show, there was like, wow, you.
Oh no, yeah, the
you know what I'm
networks their notes were basically push it further. It was the dream.
Wow.
But that whole political correctness, it's just, I swear to God.
That's your hot button, Bill.
No, it's like, it isn't though. It's just like people are adults. They understand. Look, if animated characters can destroy all of your parenting in 6 episodes, you're like the worst parent ever.
You're the worst.
It's a scarf.
Yeah,
So now
you're
I have
right.
to apologize because you think we... Like, what kind of a dope thinks that Starbucks is going to have a bear with a slit throat in the holidays?
Yeah.
Like they sat around and have, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have polar bears with its throat cut.
Wait a minute, do we know?
This will drum up business, and then I think
Have they
it's also.
apologized yet? Do we know? Because they
No,
probably
no.
they haven't
I don't
apologized
think
yet.
they're gonna
Okay.
But I
apologize.
think it becomes like clickbait. It's really lazy journalism, and it's an easy thing. And those guys, none of them go to jail. But God forbid you tell a joke in a strip mall
Right.
that somebody and one person out of like 400 doesn't like it, and that becomes the story. And they write a blog about it. And they treat the blogger like they won like a Peabody Award for the New York Times.
Right.
It's just some dope in the crowd who sat there and watched 100 subjects go by, and everything was funny. And then it came to their part of their life. And that was a statement.
Yeah.
He meant that
Right.
one.
It struck a nerve.
Yeah, they're babies.
Have
They're
you,
babies, and if you just stand up to them, they're bullies.
Have you
At you and I knew you wanted an egg.
Did you see my Adam Sandler interview?
Kevin Nealon. Dude, people told me that you fanned out so bad. This is how much I love you. This is how much I love Bert Kreitzer. When you were like this, hang on a second. Hang on, Adam, hang on a second. I have a story I want to tell.
Dude, the Me Too movement has killed the blowjob. My wife will not suck my dick on her knees ever again. It never will happen.
Because your stomach is pushing down her fucking neck.
Her face is tilted back like this on her forehead. Just,
Yeah. It's like going down in an 8-foot pool down to the bottom and not clearing your ears. I feel bad for your wife. What do you do?
We're doing it
I
tonight.
don't understand why they just can't word it like so you can understand it. They always word it where like no means yes. You okay, Bert? Or did I,
Yeah. No, I was gonna say we're doing.
I don't want to talk politics, dude. I fucking hate talking politics.
Hey, listen, you motherfucker! I've tried to say the same sentence 4 times. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ! And then when I gave you time, you're like, "What, Bert? We're not talking." I was going to do it again, and you cut me off again.
Well, just tell me to shut up.
What's a flaw that Nia has that you love?
My wife is physical.
Anything. She can't be without flaw.
Oh, no, yeah, her
Yeah.
fucking, personality shit. You're gonna get me in trouble here.
How do you pronounce the word C-E-M-E-N-T?
Cement.
Yeah.
Cement. Cement.
Yeah.
Cement.
Cement.
Cement?
Cement.
Hey, let me tell you something. You keep talking wise, you're going to end up with a pair of cement shoes.
Cement.
Oh, that's right. That's how they say it. Cement. I didn't know that.
I lived with 2 lesbians in New York, and I was fresh out of college. I didn't know anything about anything diverse. And
Can I watch you two get it on while I have my shirt off? What did I say? And then I come on your face? No? That's not cool? I paid half my rent. Technically, why am I paying half? If you bitches, you should be a third and a third. If I'm paying 50%, I gotta be able to see the two of you go down on each other. And then they flipped out.
I pronounce a lot of words wrong, but like I think it's I always say
Times. Is that a beer? I thought that was a Guinness you just poured.
No,
I was like, oh my God, I walked into a bit. What is that?
It's an iced coffee.
Dude, that would have been the greatest setup ever. And as I'm singing your praises, you just bust out a black and tan, whatever the hell that looked like.
for exactly $619,000 right there. You're right on the corner. You got coffee, coin laundry.
Well, that's the amazing about LA. Get inside! Take it inside! I don't have to look at that. English!
English! O-N-I-O-N.
You got to go slower, dude. I'm too dumb. There was just a lot of O's in that. I didn't know where you were going. O-N-I?
O-N.
On it, Joe Rogan.
O-N-I.
I'm going O-N-I?
O-N.
On it, Joe Rogan.
O-N-I-O-N. You cut one and they make
Oh,
you cry.
yeah. Now you're in my head because it seems so easy. Onion.
An onion. Onion.
I'm calling bullshit. You're just fucking with me.
No, it's A-N-A-H-N-I-O-N. So it's onion.
Onion.
Where did you get crazy?
Wait a minute. Hey, we got a paper lion. I think that's gonna be the part 2.
Yeah.
Dude, you are my favorite comedian. I love Paper Lion. Thank you.
Here's a good one, okay? How do you pronounce pronunciation? This is the proper
Person.
No, I think my wife, if it was like Asian chicks, my wife would be like, what's up with that? Like she'd want me to be looking at porn that looks like her.
She's a white supremacist porn person?
Yeah.
They really did own slaves. The callback! Bam! That's how it works, people.
The 2 interviews are H3H3 and Theo Vaughn, where everyone's like, did you see that interview? And by the way, knowing you, I don't see anything wrong with the interview.
I had a great time on the Theo Vaughn thing. I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, his reaction, that guy read, and they totally make a completely different interview that didn't even happen.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to tell me about that. That's all my interviews.
Yeah, so why would you watch that shit? I don't watch it.
I watch it, but I don't know, but that doesn't...
You know what, fuck you, Bert.
They're going to cut this up now.
What did this Asian motherfucker do? I would love to hear the rest of this story, right? Dude, I would tell the exact same story, right? I'm standing there, right? This fucking Asian comes in, right? Everybody's all like, whoa, hey, easy, Jesus, dude. What year is it, you know? It's like, dude, I just said what he said. I just preempted the fuck. That's all I did. He suggested he's hooking up with people's mothers. I'm not even doing that. It's just a quick, I got it. Comics doing bits like the next day, like, oh, white people scared now? White people is scared now? Yeah, the Pope is black and shit. Could you just feel it? That was like a half-hour material. Went out the fucking window. The second they picked another white dude. It was endless. Pope Mobile's gonna be pimped out, and you better not be shooting at this Pope. The black Pope will be shooting back at your ass. Because when white people get shot, etc., etc. So second. Right? Now my wife, on the other hand, she's black, right? Now I hate saying that because it makes it seem like I'm gonna start doing some stupid comparison jokes. You know those dumb white guy, black guy jokes? And it's always like the white guy's like, oh Jesus, I gotta do my taxes. Can this chair hold me? The black guy's always like, you need to loosen up. You gotta relax, man. You just gotta let it happen. All right? It's always the same stupid. At the end of the day, it's a woman. All right? It's gonna be the same fights. I don't give a fuck who you're with. I'm not gonna lie to you. There might be more head movement and hand gestures with different races of women. Possibly an index finger jabbing at your forehead, whatever the fuck that is. But at the end of the day, it's the same fights. What's going on with us? You need to work on this. Why don't we communicate better, right? So she starts watching this shit as a black person, right? Racism, obviously, that I'm seeing, but she was catching all this subtle shit that I was too white to see, but I knew I was missing it because I just kept hearing her huffing and puffing, just sitting next to me being like, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, somebody did something. I don't know what just happened, but I don't think that was good. So I've been seeing this girl recently, this black girl, right? She lives up in Harlem, you know, gone out like 3-4 times, you know. First time we hung out, We hung out in like the Village area in New York, 99th Street, you know what I'm saying? The second the streets start getting into like triple digits, like 100, 101st Street, start getting like a little asthma, like, oh, fuck, it's starting to get a little high up here. You feel that little tightness in your chest? Can you feel that? 106th Street, you're like leaning on shit, like, dude, where'd all the cabs go? How come there's no taxis up here? Dude, what's a bodega? I don't know what that is. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Shut the door. Get me some water, though. Come back. Bitch moaning and complaining about all this stuff they don't have. But you know, and it's like, you fucking outlive us. Really? You outlive us. Well, you know what? You have a birthday coming up. I know exactly what I'm getting you. Big bag of Fritos. You're an asshole. Yeah, so they're always bitch moaning and complaining about what they don't have, right? You know, do they ever look around and see what they do have? A whole fucking platoon of shoes, huh? That their guy paid. Moaning and complaining about what they don't have, right? You know, do they ever look around and see what they do have? A whole fucking platoon of shoes, huh? That their guy paid for.
I'll tell you what I have.
Right?
You had for a husband.
Oh, snap. 12-6 right there, baby. Hey, Nia, do you know why I make more an hour than you? Because I'm better than you.
Actually, I had this black dude moved in my building, man. Lives on the same floor as me. He's one of the type. Yo, this country's at war, son. War! I'm just looking at my friend like, dude, did you hear him the first time? Because I heard him the first time. I was smiling, I was nodding. Actually, I got a couple of friends of African persuasion. I got to get rid of them, man. I got to admit to you. I'm finding I'm spending too much money on clothes, hanging out with them. It's like every time they go out, they got all brand new shit on. So when I show up with my white version of brand new, which is, you know, I ironed the shit, right? I ironed it, right? It's new. They just start trashing me. And I don't give a shit what fucked up color their shirt is. They got to be happy. But after 10 years of living in the city, this is how I narrow it down. Whether a black dude scares me or not. Black dudes with dirty sneakers scare the fucking shit out of me. I figured out in my head, because I know from hanging out with them, that's the last shit that they're going to let go. The immediate shit that they have on. So I think, you know, if his sneakers are fucked up, that means his life is fucked up. Every time he leaves his building, the whole neighborhood, oh, shit! Everyone starts making fun of him. He's on the train in a bad mood. I kind of have this howdy-doody kind of... Man, I had a real weird experience last time I came down here. I was in Nashville, right? Sort of an awkward social situation, right? I'm sitting at this bar. There's this white dude sitting like 2 stools away. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. And that Terrell Owens story was in like sports news. So I try to make conversation. I'm like, man, look at this guy. This guy just signed a $40 million contract. He's already bitching, man. How much money do you need to make? And the dude looks at me. He's like, you know what I say? And then he looked over his shoulder, which I now know is the telltale sign that the N-word is coming, and it's coming hard. I just threw it in my lap. Trying to pass it down to the next white dude. I hate when people do that, man. You know, it's like, dude, feel me out first. Ask some questions. Do you like to fish? Have you ever fucked your sister, right? I start rattling off answers, then you go old school. You give me a pamphlet, you tell me about your militia.
Like he's Tesla tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me! Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy! How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshirt only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another iPad. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those fucking albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about? This is what all the silence is about? New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you gotta throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof, disappears? Everything you ever used is somewhere. You ever think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. You remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Telling your parents you're gay. Full-grown adults. Dude, I'm not gay. I don't have the cooties. These mean I suck dick. And they just threw them out. They end up in the ocean. They're made out of plastic. They can't biodegrade. They just break down to little cubes. Fish are breathing them in. 6 months later, you're going out, you're getting conspiracy theory and like slap fights till like 2 in the morning on YouTube, you know? Yeah, I start like piecing shit together. I'm becoming that guy. I'm like that guy, you know, when you sit there, you're sitting there drinking in a bar and all, you know, some guy's cool, you're talking about the game, then all of a sudden he's just like, you know, there's no gold behind our currency. You realize that? You're like, oh yeah, that's great. Pick up your drink, just fucking walk away. Oh, that's what I'm becoming. Totally into conspiracy. That's why I think Barack Obama is going to win the election. I think they're going to let him win because they're in the process, that they need a black guy to blame it on. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Dude, it'll totally feed into the rednecks. They'll be like, you see what happened? Dude, he's only half black. Well, that's the half that did it. That's what happened. I bet the white half was saying. That's why, see, I'm just fucking losing people. I am. I just look at TV and nothing makes sense to me. I'm sick of them telling me shit is shocking that is completely obvious. Crocodile hunter dies. Oh, can you fucking... Yes, I can totally believe it. It's why I watch the show. I watched it every week because I knew eventually he was going to fucking die. And I wanted to see it. Right? Oh, I like that dog, the bounty hunter video, or the phone message he left. You know, people are like, can you believe he left that racist message? It's like, dude. Oh, I like that dog, the bounty hunter video, or the phone message he left. You know, people are like, can you believe he left that racist message? It's like, dude, look at him. Look at him. Some redneck with a mullet down to his ass. He drives a pickup. He's got the gloves with the fingers cut off. Yeah, who would have thought he had a couple of fucked up ideas rolling around in his head, you know? Dude, you know what would have been shocking? If he could play the cello. Neck with a mullet down to his ass. He drives a pickup. He's got the gloves with the fingers cut off. Yeah, who would have thought he had a couple of fucked up ideas rolling around in his head, you know? Dude, you know what would have been shocking? If he could play the cello. That would have been shocking, right? Yeah, then you'd be sitting there like, God damn, look at Doc. Here it is. I thought he was some racist on his way to a steak and shake, and he's busting out a little Beethoven. God damn, I owe this guy. Man, I actually spent so much time alone on the road, actually like contemplated milk to the point I can't even fucking drink it anymore. Sitting there drinking, like, man, this stuff is great, tastes awesome, you know? Then I started thinking, it comes out of the carton, and I just did the police work, it comes out of a cow, and I'm like, I am fucking suckling for another species. We have such a crazy relationship with cows. You ever think about that? No, you can nurse from it, you can eat it, right? You can tip it over. It's dependent on me. I gotta get out of this tailspin, man. So I'm thinking about getting a dog. My girlfriend wants me to like adopt a dog. She's like, you want to adopt a dog? We should rescue one. You want to do that? I'm like, no, I don't. She's like, why not? I go, because I think a lot of those dogs, they're a little fucked in the head. Yeah, how do you think they ended up down there? It's like, dude, that's not a pet store. That's like doggy death row, all right? Why don't we just go to a prison and like adopt an inmate on the off chance that maybe they didn't know because his last owner hung him from the ceiling fan every time the Jets didn't cover the over, you know? Dude, that is an animal. That thing could kill you. If a squirrel wanted to fuck me up, if it just started running at me, by the time I processed, like, is that a rat? Is that mechanical? By the time I figured it out, it would have ran up my leg and just taken chunks out of my ear.
Then I gotta tell that story for the rest of my life, sitting in a bar. Dude, what happened to you? A fucking squirrel, right? Never get laid again. That's what I'm saying, right? I get one of those crazy dogs. Get up at like 3 in the morning to take a leak, right? I'm shuffling to the bathroom, and that's the exact moment his previous owner used to come home shit-faced and beat the crap out of the dog, right? I got no clue. I'm just, sitting there shuffling to the bathroom. Meanwhile, the dog's getting all amped up, like, fuck this shit, man. I promised myself I wouldn't let this happen again, all right? Time to man up, man up. Ah! It's flying at me. Takes a big chunk out of my neck. Then what? I'm laying on the, like, shackles on him and stuff. He's just sitting there hopping back in. We knew you'd be back. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Get me a milk bone, Wheel him in like Hannibal Lecter with, like, that lampshade around his neck. I gotta work on my temper, though. Something I really gotta do. I let like the thoughts just spin away, I was on a plane the other day. I actually had the... She just starts like waddling around me. And all of a sudden I just feel my elbow like, dude, you gonna take this shit? This is ridiculous, man. The whole half of the plane is watching it. Come on, man. Dude, we got a wide open shot. Just real light. Poof, I gotta hit it that hard. And then you can play it off. I'm literally talking to my elbow like, dude, come on, man, we can't do this shit, all right? This chick's like 95 years old. We can't do it. I thought I had my body under control, and she got like to right about there, and then I felt my foot like, dude, we could still trip her. Frame, spitting out their ideas. It's just like, well, why are you talking? Right? You weren't elected. Shut up. Your husband's not running a lemonade stand here. He's running the country. You don't just chime in. Let me guess, is this considered sexist? It is? Why? Well, okay, you just nodded there, lady. Let me ask you this, all right? Let's say you had a leak in your house. I'm actually taking care of it. Wouldn't you be like, with all due respect, shut the up. I need a plumber in this moment. I'll extend an olive branch here. All right, at some point, there's going to be the first female president, right? Exactly. Which means at that moment, you're going to have the first male first lady, right? And when that happens, that dude, go do some first lady stuff, all right? Go get yourself some gloves that go up to your elbows. Smile and nod during speeches. Go put your own flair, redecorating the White House, right? Which leads you to Michelle Obama, right? Now she's sitting there holding up those hashtags. Remember that hashtag, bring back our girls? Remember that? It's like, it blew my mind. It's like, why are you showing me that? I'm a stand-up comedian. Like, what am I going to do? For the free world. Tell them to pick up a phone, call some Navy SEALs and solve it. What am I going to do? Show up with a sharpened mic stand? Hey, Michelle said to bring him back. Oh, it's unreal. I'll tell you what kills me. Hillary Clinton might run. She might run. That blows my mind. I mean, how she became a senator. She went from being the president's wife to being a senator. Just like that. Lateral move. That's like Tom Brady's wife becoming the next quarterback of the Rams. It's like, what, you hanging out? You just pick it up? I sucked at sports, and then I banged Tom Brady, and I don't know what happened. I just picked up a ball. I started lacing it. I'm leading receivers. It was incredible. I knew it was going to be like this. You know what's funny? There's actually people out there that think a woman being president is actually a good idea. You know? Can you believe that? See that? They do. That'll do something. That'll change things. How? How the is that going to change anything? Do you know what the president makes a year? The president makes $400,000 a year. That's it.
Girlfriend, they just like see that open day. They're like, oh my God, let's fucking fill it up with shit. They just come at you with like one horrible idea after another. They have the worst ideas. They do. You ever get to this one, they'll be like, you want to go to brunch?
You want to go to brunch on Sunday? And inside you're like, fucking no! But you can't say that. You got to keep her happy. See what I'm saying? Where are all those feminists then? You can't find them. They had no feminists in a house fire. You can take the most hardcore feminist, you know, some chick right in your face, you chauvinistic son of a bitch, you know, little short, little haircut, you know. Second those flames break out, she'll twist those little hairs into pigtails. Oh, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope.
She pops her head up. Hey, Bam Bam, tell Stevie Wonder to come down and play some songs tonight. Now, I found out she's doing a tour because she's doing a book tour. Yeah, she wrote a book. She wrote a book about not having a job. I gotta read that fucking book. Chapter 1, how to know if a dick tastes president. Someday there's gonna be the first female president, which means there's gonna be the first male first lady. Right? And you wait, you fucking wait. The first time that dude opens his mouth about some political shit, you watch all these feminists. They're all gonna be, you shut the fuck up! You shut the fuck up! It is her time now. It is her time. She was elected, not you. Go pick out some plates, bitch. You are the first lady. See how you do. You know? You fly him out. You land, you bring another 28 back. We'll let you do this for a while. You do this for a while. We don't get any complaints. No up and down, no, none of that shit. We'll move you up to 35 people, and then one day you'll be in a jet. Woo, we're going a little faster, right? Big planes, you get in the fucking pilot that knows what he's doing. He's probably fought in a war. He's used to getting shot at. He can't. So I'm on a smaller plane, and everything's going great. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, we hit this turbulence. Just right? And it stops. And everybody looks around like laughing nervously, like, oh. All of a sudden it comes back with a vengeance. You can literally hear like the metal the plane's made out of, like. All of a sudden this dude, like 3 rows back, starts making like these bitchy noises, like, I'm not gonna lie, I have never been so fucking scared in my entire life. Dude, that noise is acceptable out of a female or a child. To turn around and see a 37-year-old mustachioed male going, woo, woo, woo. Dude, the hair was standing up on my arms. I'm praying to a higher power. I don't even believe in this shit. I just wish I had the balls to turn around and be like, dude, would you shut the fuck? You think I'm not up here thinking, woo, woo? I am. But how does that help us for me to join you and turn this fuselage into a haunted house? You know? You know what kills me? What absolutely kills me is some woman is going to fall in love with this guy, marry him, and make half fucking kids. And you know what? We become weaker as a species. We do.
Go to the park? You want to go to the container store, get some containers for your t-shirts?
This is the worst one. Ever get this one? Want to go to brunch?
You want to go to brunch on Sunday?
And inside you're like, fucking no! You can't say that, right? You gotta keep them happy. So what do? You agree. Like, yeah, let's go to brunch. What a great idea. Oh, you just want to flip the whole fucking table over? It's horrendous. I'm trying to learn to pick my battles when I date girls. I usually argue with women all the time, man. I'm stupid like that. You know? Like, I dated this girl one time. She was, like, really into, like, women's issues. So we used to always have these dumbass arguments. Like, one time she came up to me and she goes, okay, explain this to me, Bill. Why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job, huh? I go, I'll tell you why. Because I got my shirt on fire going, let's go, people, let's go, let's go! So that's how I look at it. No, it's $1 an hour surcharge. That if something fucked up happens, either I can't leave or I gotta like get in the way of it to give you a head start, like rabid dog, run honey, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out, like yes, he does have a knife. Hardcore feminist, some chick right in your face, like you chauvinistic son of a bitch. Little short, little haircut, the whole 9 yards, right? Second those flames break out, she's gonna twist those little hairs into pigtails. No, I'm just a girl. I wanna go play jump rope. And leave you standing in a burning house like you're not flammable. You know, but I'm not a dick though. I'm not saying I think a woman should make $1 less an hour to do the same job. The other night, somebody broke into our car sitting in the driveway. Starts fucking with her head, right? So she starts reading up on guns, you know? She's reading too much because now she wants to get one, but she's just like, well, I heard you got to keep the bullets in the safe, keep the stock in the garage. And then what? I run around the house and assemble it. There's some dudes chasing me with an axe. You know, even thinking this thing through, sweetheart. Just running around. Where's the scope? It's in the living room. He's in the living room. And this thing through, sweetheart. Just running around. Where's the scope? It's in the living room. He's in the living room. No, we're getting this thing. I want that fucking thing loaded right on the bedroom wall. Right there. I'll put that thing up my jam sleeves. Just like that. There's no other point. That's funny, though, when you talk about getting a gun, you know? People, like, they either totally for it or completely against it. You know, they either go nuts and start screaming, right? No, I'm telling you. I don't buy into any of that shit. Stats are so fucking stupid. You know? Not that they're stupid. It's the way people apply them. You already have your mind made up, and then you go to I'mRight.com, you start memorizing a bunch of shit, and then you just throw it up at people. This guy tried to get me to go scuba diving. I go, I'm not going. I don't want to get eaten by a shark. He's like, well, actually, 90% of shark attacks actually happen in shallow water. It's like, no shit. That's where the people are. Here. Right? However, the second I took off the costume and they cleaned off my face and I put on my regular clothes, I immediately just looked like some sad old queen that never found love. Right? And as luck would have it, I was in New York City in June, which I quickly found out was Gay Pride Month. The whole month. And let me tell you something, the gay guys show up strong. It is wall to wall, which I quickly found out was Gay Pride Month. The whole month. And let me tell you something, the gay guys show up strong. It is wall to wall. The fucking island is almost tipping over. There's so many of them. And I'm sitting there like going, oh my God, 30 days of this shit. I'm walking around with this orange Freddie Mercury fucking dick broom on my face. I am going to be getting harassed up and down the street. I was an actor, same way other lesbians do. It's not calculus. No, but I get it. I understand in 2021 you're not allowed to say you know what a lesbian looks like, right? Judging by your silence, yes, right? Yeah, you're not allowed, right? What's funny is some white kid came in here like 20 years old, hair slicked back, collar popped, loafers, no socks. You'd be looking at him thinking like, all right, frat boy, date rapist, his dad's a judge, he's not going to jail. Yards, she comes back into my lane again. So now, like, I'm up against the curb. So now I'm like thinking like, okay, how do I do the politically correct math here? Like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Am I supposed to like fucking, am I supposed to step off into the bike lane? And have some young kid on his electric bicycle come by, 40 miles an hour, run me over. I go down to the pavement, knees and elbows. And for the rest of my life, every time it rains, I got to think about this lesbian that walked me off the fucking block? Is that what I'm supposed to do? In public, people are going to see this shit. What's going to happen, right? But I'm not going to lie to you. She started closing in. She was moving. So I, like, leaned in. Like, I really got my legs underneath me because she was built like a janitor, and I was not going to get spun around. I wasn't getting spun around, not having that on the fucking logbook, right? So I leaned into this shit, and at the last second, she turned her shoulder, and we just missed shoulders, but our forearms still slapped together with significant enough force that it warranted a turnaround. Around and go like old school Dustin Hoffman, De Niro, like, hey, I'm fucking walking here, huh? I fucking moved twice. You didn't see that? You drifted 2 times? Huh? So I turn around to have this confrontation. And let me tell you something. She never looked back. And I'm not going to lie to you. That bugged me. That bugged me for like 3 days. 3 days, I'm just in my chest. And then one more time, it's going to be, I'm sorry, Dada. I'm sorry. It's like, I can't do this. I can't do this to my daughter. I can't do this to my kids. So I started reading up on anger. Like how to let go of shit, I think is what I Googled. And I found empathy. If you have empathy for somebody, you put yourself in their shoes, you can just, figure out where they're coming from, where you're coming from, you can meet in the middle. So I said, all right, here we go. Let me put myself in her shoes. What would cause somebody to, was she a mummy? Did she have a wooden leg? Was she one of those, those fucking diagonal walkers? You get behind them at the airport, they're walking too slow, you try to go around to the right, they start dragging their suitcase over there. You go over to the left, they're coming back this way, it's like they just got off a ship. And everything was just like, no, cut! Right? And I was still mad. Still fucking mad. So I said, I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. Women. Who do they move in with? Women. Who do they get in relationships with? Women. Who do they eventually marry? Women. And I was thinking like, oh my God, I did that. I know what the fuck that's like. I know what it's like to live with one of those fucking things. I know exactly what that is. It's hopeless. Trying to make them happy. Hey, am I getting a shiny thing? Did I do it right? Huh? Trying to get them to take responsibility for their actions.
Good job, we have to get them fixed. I'm like, why do we have to get them fixed? Well, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm like, well, you're not a veterinarian. She's like, well, neither are you. Great, then it's a stalemate. Neither one of us knows what the fuck we're talking about, so let's not start cutting anything off the animal, right? So, of course, she's a female. She's got to go out and prove me wrong. Goes out and gets a book. Okay, look at this. See, it says right here, you get your dog fixed. He's less likely to be aggressive. Okay? Now listen. God, you're such an asshole. Just listen. And then it says...
Because I know, this ain't about me. No, I don't want to go to that dark place. Well, fuck it. Let's go then. All right? Okay. Oh, I know. It always rains on you guys. You guys are all fucking depressed, right? Under the bridge, doing whatever the fuck you're doing up here, writing your sad music. Anyway, issues. I couldn't believe it. I always hate when people, I'm fucking depressed. Shut up, you fucking pussy. Just get up and plow through it. Like the I got clinic on the planet. I couldn't get off the ground. I had no fucking empathy whatsoever. I used to look at those people like, what the fuck is wrong with them? And I had the exact same thing. I had no fucking idea, I don't have like clinical depression. I have regular depression, I got the regular stuff, like a lot of just sort of floats over here. And every once in a while, it taps me on the shoulder like, hey, you ready to deal with this shit? I'm like, okay, maybe. Or I could death scroll on Instagram and watch some guy refurbishing old skillets for like the next 3 hours. Oh, maybe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll stay up till 3 a.m. washing people like power wash like sidewalks and driveways rather than unpacking that shit. And it's always fucking tapping me on the shoulder. There, it'll be fine, right? Yeah, he'll be good, right? You're allowed to be that or fine. How you doing, Bill? I'm fine. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I said I was fine. Why the fuck would I say it's fine? Fine? Then you're just right back over there. And your whole fucking life is that. And what's weird about a guy is we feel all the other emotions, right? Melancholy, being sentimental, enjoying a sunset, all of that type of shit. But all this in here is just called gay. Yes. I didn't realize that I could just be like, oh, that's between you and Mandy? All right, take it easy. Good luck with that shit. I'm going to go watch some hockey. That is some you and Mandy shit. Let me know how that works out. Or don't. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. So that's like been an adjustment in the relationship now that I'm starting to feel feelings. Because it's not about the guys. There you go. It's something shiny. Are you happy? Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're happy. Don't mind me. I'm just over here in a walking depression. But as long as you're happy,
As long as you're happy, I'm happy. Don't mind me. Hey, look at me. I'm over here. I'm learning how to make a crepe. Yeah, I'm learning how to make a crepe. Wow, Bill, you have so many interests. No, just sad. Just sad, you know. I realize that now that I know how fucked up I am, you can always, like, I can see through the matrix. There's so many sad guys, they don't even know they're sad. Yeah, ladies, you're married. You're probably married to a sad guy right now. That's what the fucking garage is for. That's what the garage is for. You tease him to your friends. He's always out there working on that project. He's never gonna finish. Yeah, because he can't see the measurement through the tears. Right? No means no, that's another one. No means no. It's like, no, it doesn't. All right? Look, no means no. No, that means no. All right, but no, stop it. What are you doing? Oh my God. You're being so bad. Stop it. No. Yeah, that's not a fucking no. That means I want to do it, but I'm afraid you're going to judge me, so I'm just going to make it look like it was your idea. Bodied person playing a quadriplegic. It's because it's called acting, you dumb fuck. See, if he was a quadriplegic playing a quadriplegic, that's not acting. That's just fucking laying there saying shit that someone else wrote. So tell us, what did you do to prepare for the role? Well, I dove headfirst into the shallow end of a pool when I was 23.
Explain this to me, Bill. Why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job, huh?
I go, I'll tell you why. Because in the unlikely event that we're both on a Titanic and it starts to sink, for some fucked up reason, you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay.
Yeah, that's why I get the $1 more an hour. No, think about it. If there's a house fire, it's always women and children first. I got to stand there. Well, what about me? Bullets hurt me too. Why the fuck do I gotta stay in the vault? No, that's my point, man. Where are all the feminists in those situations? You know what I mean? You can't find them. There are no feminists in a house fire. That's a guarantee. You could take the most hardcore feminists, whatever.
Actually, Nerd Jesus died in the last year, right? Steve Jobs. Yeah, he died, right? I know, a lot of nerds here tonight. I know, you're sad. I didn't get it. I didn't get the big deal they made about that guy. When he died, they were like, he changed the world. That was insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came. Changed the world. That was insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the fuck did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Out. How the fuck are we gonna get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear, right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. Showing up with their acne and their Hulk shirts, limping into the arena, right? Does Steve Jobs go out with a whole chorus line of scientists? No, he goes out there by himself. Sneakers and no belt, like it was no biggie, right? like he's Tesla, tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? Tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me. Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy. How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshop. Nah, he didn't have people leaping to their deaths only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another iPad. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those fucking albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about? New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you gotta throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof, disappears? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof, disappears? Everything you ever used is somewhere. You ever think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it. Think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. You remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up cones, we did little tricks, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad. A homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Telling your parents you're gay. Full-grown adults. Dude, I'm not gay. I don't have the cooties. These mean I suck dick. And they just threw them out. They end up in the ocean. They're made out of plastic. They can't biodegrade. They just break down to little cubes. Fish are breathing them in. 6 months later, you're going out, you're getting sushi. You think you're being healthy.
Hi, man. What's up? How you doing? Was this too quick a transition? You know what I mean? Like 9, 10 black dudes in a row and then like the whitest man on the planet. Let your eyes adjust. I was watching George Bush today, man. I don't want to be a dick or anything, but could that guy like rehearse before he gives a speech? You know what I mean? Just say it like a couple of times. How awful was he during that hurricane? He's just walking out, man. He's just, but you're 5 years old. There's no excuse for that shit. I'm telling you, man, that's the parents' fault. You know, stop feeding him. He doesn't have any money. You know, seriously. He can't go get a job so he can go buy more food. He's got to eat whatever you give him. Just put a plate of seaweed right in front of him. Go ahead, eat it. It's like, first of all, he didn't advocate hitting women, okay? He just said, you know, every once in a while, you give him a little slap. Yeah, give him a little back of the hand. You remind them who's making the box office. You reset their hard drive. That's all he said, okay? Yes, it's a crazy statement in 2021. 1976, you know, it's not good, but it's not. Give me a pie, put it on a windowsill. Right? That's what he grew up watching. I grew up in the 70s. I thought being a truck driver was a cool thing. You know, you had a monkey for a friend. You're going around, chicks showing their titties. I thought that was the world. I had no idea. That's what I was watching. My thing is okay, so if you're going to cancel all of these fucking dead guys, what about all the horrible women in history? You can't just go after the men. That would be sexist. And this is what they don't want. You know? I mean, what about Coco Chanel? Great example. Coco Chanel, widely considered a feminist icon, She started her own purse factory, right? The 19-teens or 20s, whatever the hell she did. I can't imagine the sexism that she had to deal with, you know? An amazing... She was also a Nazi sympathizer. Yeah, that's like half her fucking Wikipedia page. Just sitting there, waiting for someone to read it. Right out in the open, nothing. So evidently what happened was, in World War II, old Adolf came rolling into town, okay, with his tanks with the Porsche engines in them, took over the town in like fucking 90 minutes. She freaked out. She closes up her shop that did that. Now, just to refresh my memory, what did Sean Connery do again? Oh, you know, every once in a while you give him a little slap. That's what he did. She's sitting there like, hey, Adolf, what's going on? She so sold out her own country, she had to flee it at the end of the war. And I have no idea the world has ever seen comes in and takes it over in a couple hours. She must have been terrified, right? And she's a woman. You know, she's into fashion. They show up with those Hugo Boss uniforms. You know, her knees buckle a little bit. Things start getting ugly. People are getting shot in the street. She's freaking out. You know. And she's a woman. And women know, push comes to shove, when you get your back against the wall, no matter how bad it gets. Prison. But women learn this early on. She had the option, and she took it. I can't get mad at her for that, you know? So she's dead and gone. I think she's up there in heaven. I think she made it. She's up there with Sean Connery. Every once in a while they have a disagreement. He gets a little slap, you know? She doesn't care. Once you shit on a Nazi's chest, I mean, a little backhand's not going to freak you out. Yeah, there you go. So, still buy your Coco Chanel. She's still a hero. She was a victim. She was a victim of that time. She was frightened. She was scared. She didn't know what to do.